Okay, so this is my first little video. And these are just little tips and stuff that I've learned to kind of keep my sanity and get back into my pre-pregnancy body. But really, we are just trying to get stronger in our new body. You know, depending on, your pregnancy and your body, things may never go back to the way that they were before. And that is okay. You know what? Because at the end of that pregnancy, we got a beautiful baby. So first thing I want to talk about is the pregnancy butt. So for the last 10 months, we've been front load carrying. So it's this little bit of a pelvic tuck. We kind of shift our hips forward so that we can carry our belly. And so in that, they call it pregnancy butt, when our butt kind of disappears. So first, what will be important to do when you're recovering, and of course, once you got the okay from your doctor, of course, is to properly load your body. So this is going to help you with any back pain. So we want a little bit of that balance in our knees, and we want to stick your butt out. And this is going to ask us to engage our core here. And this is that Mula Bandha. That's what we call it in yoga. That's your pelvic floor. Your perineum is drawing up and in. This secures your lower back. And then even in the beginning, when you're spending these hours, it feels like, holding your baby, even that sway back and forth with that mindfulness to your pelvic floor, everything's drawing up and in. This is going to help that healing. Diaphragmatic breathing, inhale, everything is expanding open. Exhaling, everything is drawing up and in. So when you're holding your baby and it's time to go to sleep, I'm going to put a link below to white noise that you can put on for your baby. And then you can put this video in your ear. And I started this because it literally took me an hour every single night to put my toddler, not this guy, my toddler to bed. And I hated it. I absolutely hated it. So what I started doing is goddess squats. So then every single time it was his bedtime, I was working out. And so then I was able to enjoy that time more and get out of my head. And you correct your energy, your baby is going to fall asleep better. They feel safer. You are this point of security for them. And if you're frustrated and you're mad, you're scary. And that energy is scary to them. And it's going to be a lot harder for you to fall asleep. And putting your baby down and learning these tools are life-saving. When you're frustrated, put the baby down and leave the room, And it comes down to paying attention to your own mental health and then sourcing out people when you're suffering, because, people are just suffering in the middle of the night. And who do you talk to? There's no one to freaking talk to. Maybe you got a friend who's got a baby too, but chances are they're not just going to sit there and text with you at 2:00 in the morning. And if you do, buy them some wine. Just joking. I mean, something healthy. Okay, so what we're gonna do is you swaddle up your baby if that's what you're doing. Sleep sack, pacifier. I'm gonna put the 5 little things up in the screen that they say to do when you're trying to get your baby to sleep. In the beginning, we're just gonna sit here and we're gonna start bringing that attention to our pelvic floor. So little bouncing, little back and forth. Inhaling, we're creating that space. And then the exhale, we're drawing everything up and in. If you go to a pelvic for a therapist, they're going to be like, imagine your vagina opening up like a giant flower. And then exhaling, everything is drawing up and in. Imagine your vagina picking up that little tiny blueberry. My sister-in-law made me really laugh. And she's like, what if I don't want to imagine a blueberry? What about a little piece of Lego? Okay, so constantly, even when you're doing the dishes, when you bend down, inhale down, exhale, you're drawing your perineum up and in. And even that is, hey, a proper squat in the middle of the day. dang girl or dang person. Trying to be all inclusive, you know. So once you kind of have the idea of what a properly engaged pelvic floor and lower abdominal, this is going to start preparing that healing. And you can still just continue to do that, just swaying back and forth with a little bit, like stick your butt out, having that little bit of a pelvic tuck, keeping everything up and in, and just bouncing back and forth and breathing. This is honestly enough. And then if you want to take it a little bit farther, if you're healed, you got the go, you want that little bit of exercise, we're going to take a goddess. So you want your toes pointed out to the corners, and your knees are going to travel over your toes. You're just going to come down. Same pelvic floor breathing. See, my little dude's already asleep. And if your baby falls asleep during this video, then you put them down and you go get some sleep. Because you don't have to just be working out for no flipping reason in the middle of the night, right? But, so you're down in your yoga squat, same thing. Little pulses, still keeping that core engaged. And you can literally do this for an hour. And my legs are already burning because it's been a hot minute since I've had to do this. You can lift a toe, bounce back and forth. I wanted to create these videos so that if you were feeling isolated and alone, you're not sleeping, baby's not sleeping, then you have something to listen to, hopefully something to make you laugh. You get a little bit of workout in. You figure out ways to lower cortisol levels so then everybody sleeps better. Because if you're stressed too and you're breastfeeding, it's in your milk. Literally, energy is everything. So if you can find a way to enjoy this little part of your life, it's going to feel better. You know, they're only this little for a fragment of time, but when it's not going well, it really isn't going well. And with my last baby, I don't think he got more than 5 hours until he was like 7 months. And I was completely drained. I was hating my mat leave, which was really sad because we really wanted him and we fought for him. And we went through a lot to get him. And here I was hating my mat leave because he would not sleep and I was miserable. And I was also not in very good shape because my cortisol levels were off the charts. And yeah, I wasn't able to drop the weight even though I was breastfeeding. And it was like a big crapshoot. It really was. So keep going. And if you get kind of fatigued, you can straighten your legs. All right, bounce around. Just gonna keep going. And then you can take these moments too in this video and just kind of like, it's like girl talk, you know? It was my birthday yesterday and I had all these plans. Ooh. I was gonna go to a yoga class because I take my kids to the gym. They have childcare and my favorite yoga classes are at this gym. And I was gonna go to the zoo. I was gonna do all these things. And then my son, my toddler, God bless his soul, he had completely covered himself in poop, in his own poop, from head to toe. It was all over the play stuff. It was all over my carpet. It was in his eyebrows. My husband's just like, hey, why don't you come up here and have a look at your son before I clean him up? And it was atrocious. And I thought at first, I was like, oh my God, he's gonna get mad pink eye, like mad pink eye. Oh no, hand, foot, mouth. So yesterday was day 3 of having hand, foot, mouth. See, like, so now we're in these goddess squats and you can do figure 8s in your arms, but just make sure that your core is engaged here and just going back and forth. Imagine their head is building that figure 8. And then this is going to be great for your obliques, great for your lower core, and just keep going. Back to the sway. It's nothing fancy. It's really just doing the same thing for an hour. I think the one time I counted, I did over 100 squats trying to get my son to sleep. Okay, so just keep bouncing. So anyways, day 3, hand, foot, and mouth. So I didn't get to do anything for my birthday. I was feeling a little sorry for myself. I had just failed this exam, and I'm like desperately trying to like figure out what I was doing wrong, and I did figure it out. So I'm trying to rebook my final, and the lady's like, no, 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 you're not ready. But I'm trying to book it out like a month, like in a month. I'm thinking like in a month, I should be able to do fine. But so I was feeling a little sad for myself dealing with all this hand, foot, and mouth. But I was able to turn my day around by taking all my cut-ins and put them in dirt. And then eventually when my husband got home, we went for sushi, and we just went without the kids. My stepdaughter watched the little guys, and my birthday ended on a really good note. I had fun, you know, watch Matrix in bed. Yeah, and my neighbor, she brought cinnamon buns over, and she gave me some flowers. And then my best friend Morgan, she popped over a bottle of wine with the cutest little card. And then my mom gave me all these like magical crystals and stuff for hand, foot, and mouth, which actually really, really helped. I was thankful because my little baby Quentin here, he refused the boob for almost 24 hours. So my boobs were engorged. I was so afraid that my breastfeeding journey was going to come to an end. But after I gave him some of the supplements, the one off the top of my head that I know for sure was sulfur, and it's supposed to help with the blisters in the mouth. And because other than that, there's not much you can do. All right, so we're going to step it in a little bit. And when this time, we're just going to lift our heels and then place them down. Get it into our calves. Still just holding baby. And if they don't like this still action up and down, just go back to that goddess and swaying, or standing and swaying. Another thing too, that if you find yourself frustrated in these periods of time, because I found like I didn't suffer from postpartum depression. I had postpartum anxiety, intrusive thoughts, kind of just was worried about things. I wasn't able to fall asleep. And what I discovered is they say that when your thoughts are kind of heavy, you're not able to settle. If you're kind of repeating the same cycle in your brain, you have to like close your eyes and then start imagining or saying out loud how you want to handle the situation. So I started to feel really guilty that I kind of had this like postpartum rage. Like I was feeling very, very ragey, and that I wasn't a good mom. And, you know, a couple things happened where I felt very guilty. You know, I wasn't being the best version of myself for my kids. So for me, I closed my eyes and I was like, I want to be a very loving mom, and I want to be a source of peace and safety for my babies. And saying it out loud interrupts those internal thoughts in that cycle, and then it starts changing neural pathways. Like if you want something, you have to say it, you have to declare it. So if you're frustrated and you're tired and you're thinking like, just go to sleep, and you're just begging your baby, close your eyes and be like, so if this situation was to go as perfect as possible, how would you want it to look like? And it softens your shoulders. It softens how you're moving with your baby. You know, it softens your grips, and it changes the energy that you have, right? So we're still doing this. I just wanted to demonstrate kind of like that ooey gooey feeling. And then hopefully when you put baby down, if baby does fall asleep, because if baby doesn't fall asleep and you're just still frustrated, if you can, tap out. Go get your husband, give yourself a break, and don't be a martyr like me. Like they are there to help you, and gosh, and you can even hire like a postpartum doula or someone to come and just help with like a couple feedings at night, even for a day. Like if somebody can sleep, it literally would save so many lives. So I wish that, you know, Alberta Health Services would make some of these more available for people, because sometimes when you're in like a psychosis, it's because like you're not supported and you don't know how to be supported. Sometimes it's really hard to accept help. You know, you spent 10 months preparing for this baby and then it's not what you expected and it's hard and you're not sleeping. So I wish that, you know, people could afford doulas and help a little bit more. So that's why I wanted to create these videos, so you don't feel so goddamn alone, you know? Okay, so that was like 30 calf raises, like so good, right? Okay, so this video was 15 minutes long. I'm gonna post it, and I'm gonna post way more because I just want to get this method out where, you know, you can tap into these videos. And I'm gonna start kind of writing things to kind of gossip about that's going on into the world. And then you can comment below and hey, fight me on the topics, you know, if you got a different perspective. And lots of love to you. Hopefully baby did fall asleep. 15 minutes wasn't very long, but just keep going, you know. And if you don't want to listen to my voice, pop in a little bit of music into your headphones and then come and do this workout. Because if they're crying, it's okay to put a little bit of music on, hold them and bounce, and try your best to admit this kind of loving energy. And it's going to be better than being mad and being sad and frustrated. And then you can start working on killer legs and throw in some of your own stuff. Even standing here and lifting your leg, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then putting your leg down. Another one, these stabilizing muscles in your lower core, this is gonna be huge. And your shoulders gonna look good. Yeah, baby. Okay, so please like, follow, comment, share. I wanna start this like nighttime community, and you're not alone. And there are ways to reach out and find people who are going through what you're going through, who you can talk to, who can give you suggestions. Also, if you don't want any suggestions, just somebody that is here to listen. And another little tip, if you're putting baby down, you want to put them down almost on an angle, and you can tap them while you're putting them down, and then you roll them onto their back. This is going to help prevent that startle reflex. And then while you are putting them down, you can keep that tap going before you release. Okay, lots of love. Remember, you're not alone.